guaranteed. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi.
Oh, hiya.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Welcome back to Cars of the Macabre. With me, Ali.
We keep forgetting to say that at the beginning of episodes, actually.
And you, Helen.
Yeah, me, I'm here. And trigger warning. There we go. That's all the things you need to know.
There we go. Oh, shit, yeah. And Goober, who's sat over there.
Goobs. The goobs.
Yeah, there is a trigger warning, actually. Yeah.
But people are silly and might...
Do not heed the warning. Yeah.
Heed it.
Heed it.
Okay.
Heed. Okay.
Okay. This has started off well, I feel.
To be fair, we've recorded 2 episodes so far. It's really fucking hot. Mm-hmm. And I'm not swearing at you. That was just me counting. Two episodes so far. You know, we've done quite a few in a day before, but today just seems...
However, the nice thing was that we did actually have some coffee and cake in between.
Yeah, we had like a proper tea break.
Yeah, like a miniature tea party. I got Halloween plates out.
Yes. Helen's got a party cup and it's just Halloween stuff. It's great.
It really is. It's a lot of black and white striped stuff because, you know, the Tim Burton of it all and us and Beetlejuice. And, yeah, like the odd candle.
I've got a lovely Tim Burton artwork book at home. It's huge.
Do you know what? I was going to ask you about that, and I was going to ask why I didn't have one. I have three Tim Burton books. One is about his life. One is...
The Melancholy Death of the Oyster Boy.
Yeah, and another one is actually artwork, but it's nowhere near, like, the calibre of yours.
Who got me that?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it. I need to have a look at it.
Yeah, you do. That needs to go on the coffee table, I feel.
Well, when I come round your house next weekend and OCD the shit out of it, I will do you a coffee table display. I'll do all the things.
I love it. I can't wait.
I fucking got you guys. Don't worry.
Interior designer right here.
Oh, we can do before and after pictures.
Huzzah!
Yay! And then if anybody wants to hire me to do that, they can.
Perfect. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Creating a job opportunity for you.
All the job.
And we're the guinea pigs, which I'm more than happy about.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah. We've actually even done an outfit change for this episode. Normally we don't bother, but...
So professional.
It's only because you couldn't pee because of the jumpsuit.
No. I do love a jumpsuit because it means you don't have to think too much about your outfit and it looks like you've put effort in.
Yeah.
But it is an obstacle.
It's impractical.
Yeah, when you pee a lot.
You kind of need one with a butt flap, really.
Yeah, but
Or a button-up crotch.
Yeah, I feel like that... Well, that's only useful for men.
Not if it's underneath, just squat.
But it would have to be like an underneath
wide squat, like
flap.
a sumo squat.
It's going in a really weird way.
This, yeah, that's a different direction for us.
Yeah, it probably would be more effort, actually, to then not pee on your clothes.
That's true. I used to have a onesie with a butt flap.
I mean, I get it in a onesie. I don't know if I'd want to go out in an outfit that had a butt flap. Or a front flap.
You wouldn't be. This is the thing. She wouldn't be mud flap anymore. She'd either be butt flap or front flap.
Yeah. Why did I start that off again?
It's all about the flaps.
It's not. None of it is about flaps. I fucking hate that word. I hate that word, and I hate the word flannel.
You're a flannel flap.
It's horrible.
Or a flappy flannel.
No. The I don't know what your English.
Am I?
You do English. What's it called when you take a word from there to it moving?
I don't understand what you just asked me.
You know, like you get synonyms.
Yeah.
But like taking a word and making it move, so it goes from flap to flappy. You know?
No.
Okay. No.
No, I did. No.
Okay.
Shall we move on?
I think we probably fucking should.
Okay. So today's episode, this happened quite a while ago. I say quite a while ago. In the grand scheme of things, not so much. And I'm quite obsessed with teenagers that kill. I just find it really kind of bizarre. Like I was murderously angry when I was a teenager, and you know I'd make threats to people, but I wouldn't actually act on them. And you know, I was watching, there was a program that I was watching called Mean Girls or something. It's about essentially teens that kill, like female teens that kill.
Oh, I think I've seen some of those episodes.
Yeah, something like that. You know, and other variations of that. And I came across this case, and initially I couldn't really find too much about it, but I've managed to find more, and I am going to split it into 2 episodes just because I ended up with so many fucking notes.
It's a 2-parter.
It is a 2-parter. I love a 2-parter.
I
or, you know, even, I mean, my latest 2-parter ended up being like, that could have been 3 or 4 parts. That was a really,
yes.
Both those were so fucking long. This one's not going to be as long. I'm going to save most of it for the next part.
Okay.
Pretty much because we've already filmed 2 episodes and we've got a food shop arriving, so we need to get back for that.
That's not the listener's problem, but
that sounds like that is a me problem.
That's an our problem.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, today I'm gonna talk about Tess Damm, and that's Damm. Tess Amanda Damm was born on the 16th of July in 1991 to Linda and Michael Damm. Tess's parents were married for just 4 years, though their relationship really kind of only lasted 2, because when Tess was 2, they split up. And when they separated, Tess's dad, Michael, he moved to Wisconsin. And after that, I don't really think he featured much in her life. Linda, on the other hand, she'd been married before Michael. I think it was a couple of times. And when they split, she decided that she wasn't going to get married again. She was done with marriage for good. And she chose to raise Tess as a single mother, determined to give her the best life possible. Her former co-workers described her as private, pleasant and hard-working. Linda had a passion for motorbikes, especially Harley-Davidsons. Good girl. And when she found out she was pregnant with Tess, she sold her bike and completely changed her lifestyle. So, you know, she was serious about this.
Yeah, she gave up a lot then, didn't she?
She really did. And when Tess was little, her and Linda had a really special bond. During Tess's childhood. At age 13, Tess joined a basketball programme at the local rec centre called Project Yes. And the connection between Linda and Tess was so strong that Tess would often run off the court during practice just to give her mum a hug.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. And Tess's coach would say that Linda was at every single practice and game and was just so supportive and proud of her daughter.
I wonder what that's like. We don't know. The less said about that, the better. Carry on.
Yeah, swiftly moving on. As Tess entered her teenage years, the once close relationship between her and Linda took a dark turn. Fuck off, you boasting about your wonderful family life that nothing terrible happens.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, no, I'm really pleased. And I'm so glad to be a part of that family.
They're lovely.
Yeah, they're great. And I'm going to stop being gushy about it now because your dad will just take the piss out of me. He already calls me every name under the sun bar mine. And I know he doesn't listen, but he'd be like, Ali was really lovely about you. And he'd be like, twat.
Amazing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and for reasons that remain unclear, their peaceful home became the site of frequent arguments. Neighbours would often hear Tess screaming at her mother from inside the house, and despite this, Linda was still well liked in the neighbourhood. Though she kept mostly to herself, focusing on work and everyday life, she remained on good terms with those around her. Linda really tried to sort of reconnect with Tess and kind of get back to that bond that they had before, but Tess wasn't making it easy. I've put a pun in here because we all know how I love a pun. You could say she wasn't playing ball.
Yeah. Crazy.
Don't you shake your head at me. I thought that was quite good. Tumbleweed.
Oh, mental.
Tumbleweed. Dad joke. She became rebellious and her grades at school started to slip. By August 2006, the tension had reached its breaking point, and with school about to start, the conflicts had escalated to an all-time high. Linda, desperate for a solution, made arrangements for Tess to live with her aunt, so Linda's sister. In the early 2000s, did you have a MySpace?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I remember it really well. The background of it was this really cool illustration of an angel sat there kind of like at a table or something, and she was holding a bottle of Jack Daniels.
I love that.
It was so fucking cool.
We were never friends on MySpace.
We would have been.
I don't think we were.
We would have been. I really want them to bring MySpace back.
Out of all the social media platforms, MySpace was the best.
It was the best.
Absolutely. And I liked how you could rate your friends on
Yeah, that's so
weekly
true.
basis.
That's so true. You could have music on there.
You learned a bit of coding.
Hang on a minute. So Goobs, because we talk about MySpace quite a lot, Goobs is looking up. Is it coming back? Because I've heard rumblings that it might be. Yeah, I have heard on quite a few different windows.
Oh, it's only in read-only mode at the moment.
What does that mean?
Like, you can't edit it or anything like that.
Oh.
I've tried to look for my old profile and I can't find it.
Okay, somebody out there needs to fucking bring MySpace back.
That was so good.
Setting the challenge. So many people will get back on it and new people will join. So it's a money-making scheme. If I had any knowledge of this kind of thing, I'd do it, but I don't. So someone needs to do it.
Yeah, find out where Tom is.
Where is Tom? Anyway.
Yeah. But so back in the 2000s, MySpace was the social media platform. And like so many teens, Tess was very active on her account. In one of her posts, she vented about her struggles at home, writing, "My aunt found out about my mum's alcoholism. We talked about it and we figured that moving out there to California to go to school for a year was my best bet. We were wrong. It was terrible. My aunt is a bitch all the time. She yells every second and it just wasn't what I expected."
Was Tess's mum an alcoholic?
I'll get into that.
Okay.
So I'll take quite a long side note to dive into Linda's background and her so-called alcoholism. Mm-hmm. Linda was born to an alcoholic mother in Washington State. She went on to work as a waste compliance manager at Rocky Flats, which is a manufacturing facility that produced plutonium pits for nuclear weapons.
Oh my God.
These pits are essentially radioactive cores. So like heavy, dangerous. Think of them as like heavy, dangerous bowling balls, essentially.
That's really, anything like that just scares the living bejesus out of me. I hate it.
So plutonium is the element that powers nuclear weapons, sparking the nuclear chain reaction. So if you think about it, it's what makes the bomb go boom.
Bad news.
So first is the plutonium explosion, which sets off the nuclear chain reaction, and then comes the second, much larger explosion. I think I've got that right. Thank you for confirming that.
No from me.
Look at me getting all sciencey. Biology, yes. Physics, yes.
Chemistry,
no. Interestingly enough, plutonium wasn't just for weapons. It was. This is what I find interesting anyway, because it's my favourite thing to do, and I deal with this kind of thing. But it was once used to power pacemaker batteries.
No way.
Yeah. So though that was reactor grade plutonium, not weapons grade. So today pacemakers are probably much more likely to use lithium batteries.
Okay.
But back to Linda. She worked in Nevada, Colorado, not far from Boulder. It just reminds me of that song by the Chainsmokers. Huh? Closer. Yeah. Very good song.
Okay.
That's the only reason I know a little bit about Boulder from that song.
Amazing. Love that.
So she worked at Rocky Flats. The nature of her work was secretive, so much so that the people in the local community believed they were simply manufacturing cleaning supplies. Workers, including Linda, were reassured that their jobs were safe, as in they weren't. I don't mean like they were going to get fired or made redundant, as in what they were doing was
health
safe.
and safety.
Yeah. But in 1988, the FBI and the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, raided Rocky Flats. The plant was under investigation for environmental safety violations, particularly regarding the mismanagement of plutonium. And the result was that the plant was shut down in 1992.
That's horrifically scary.
I think there's one specific plant left, and that's like sort of in a location that's, yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
No, it's in a location, well, obviously, but it's, it's...
Secret location?
Well, I don't know if it's secret. I didn't look too far into it, but most...
It's somewhere.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. It's all gone Pete Tong.
It's in a location somewhere.
Yeah.
Amazing. You can learn so much from our podcasts.
We're so smart.
We are smart.
Yeah, so I think one out of all the sort of plutonium plants that were around, I think there's only one left, and that's like all, like health and safety is a big thing,
Actually, I
etc.
fucking hope so.
But where things get interesting is that there is evidence that sort of began to surface suggesting that Linda and other co-workers and other workers at Rocky Flats might have suffered neurological problems related to their exposure to radiation. Tess was quick to label her mother as an alcoholic, but Linda's behaviour could have been more complicated than that. Yes, Tess was causing trouble, violating curfews and even getting picked up by the police. So on one occasion, an officer reported that Linda was in such a bad state she could barely walk, supposedly from being drunk. A referral to Child Services was faxed to check in on Tess and Linda. Oh, do you remember fax?
Yeah, I was just thinking, faxes.
There's people these days that don't know what a fax is.
I know.
I think I've said to you before about Mark working with people that didn't know what Friends was.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
And sorry, but do they just not have Netflix because it's on all the time still?
It's always in Primark.
Yeah.
So that referral that supposedly got faxed to check in on Tess and Linda, it was claimed that the referral was never received.
Okay.
But here's the thing, the research from that time suggests that prolonged exposure to low-dose radiation can cause neurological issues, sometimes even leading to conditions like Parkinson's disease. And studies also showed that 1 in 4 people with Parkinson's had been mistaken for being drunk because of their symptoms.
Wow.
So was Linda really an alcoholic, or could it have been something far more complex?
Well, it seems like it would have been the more complex side of things, especially if there were massive health and safety violations in the plant where she was working.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a combination of both.
Could have.
Like, not necessarily she was an alcoholic, perhaps she, drank to try and deal with her wayward teen daughter.
Yeah.
Plus maybe some knock-on effects of the plant. You don't know.
I wonder, see where my brain goes is, I wonder if, there was any kind of like radiation contamination causing health issues, if that would then have an impact on women's reproduction and how kids might turn out. I don't know,
Yeah.
That's a bit of a sort of long shot, but could do.
How many studies do we know about that?
Exactly.
Do you know? But about Tess's aunt, so in Tess's MySpace post, she claimed that her aunt had just found out about Linda's so-called alcoholism. But that doesn't make sense. If Linda's addiction was so severe and everyone was so concerned, why was Tess sent back home after just a month?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't track.
So Tess, she went to go live with her aunt in August, and then just after a month, beginning of September, I think it was, and then after a month, she was sent back.
Yeah, no.
So it raises a lot of questions. Was Tess trying to cover up the fact that her aunt either didn't want the responsibility of a troubled teen, or that she simply couldn't handle it?
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to handle that. There's a reason why I don't have children. I don't want them.
Yeah, and I know what I was like as a teenager. I don't want to fucking deal with that.
Yeah, and me too. Fuck that.
I mean, hats off to my parents.
Yeah. Hats off to my dad.
Tumbleweed. So Tessa's basketball coach did mention that he occasionally smelled alcohol on Linda's breath at games and practices. And, yes, Linda's family did say she drank, but Linda was functioning. Her house was always clean and tidy, and she took care of Tess as much as Tess would let her. She held down a full-time job, and her alleged alcoholism, the ice cream van's just gone past.
Creepy.
And her alleged alcoholism was never officially confirmed.
Right.
So it's possible that Linda did drink.
Yeah.
She maybe even, she might have binged as well.
Yeah.
At times, but binging doesn't automatically make someone an alcoholic.
No, we know that full well being British.
And us.
That's literally what the Brits do.
Yeah.
So,
you'd expect as well to see signs of neglect in situations like that. So messy home, lack of care for her daughter, but there were none of those signs. Even the neighbours who obviously witnessed a lot of the arguments between Tess and Linda never reported anything about alcohol being involved.
and they would have seen something.
Yeah. So it is easy for people to jump to conclusions, especially when, they're looking for a scandal.
Yeah.
And kids, well, they love to air their dirty laundry, just like Tess did on MySpace. So it's not too much, it's not dissimilar to social media now.
Yeah.
You see an ambulance on your street, suddenly people are hitting their local sort of Facebook notice boards, buzzing with speculation. Oh, what the fuck is going on? What's happened? Blah, 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 blah. People love to fill in the gaps with their own stories. And it's like, just, Jesus Christ, give people some space and some peace.
Yes.
But MySpace and, let's be honest, social media today is often a breeding ground for attention seekers. People put on a persona, making themselves seem edgy. They might want to sort of exaggerate their troubles or, seeking validation from likes, comments. It's that whole, oh, what's up? Oh, I'll message you, hun.
Yeah. It's like on Schitt's Creek when Moira is doing live social media. And in the past, she had referred to social media as an amusement park for clinical narcissists.
Is it not?
Bang on.
It really is. It's like, oh, you see some massive spiel from someone, and it's really fucking cryptic. Don't get me wrong. I used to do some of that stuff as well. As a teenager, you kind of did, especially if you're the angsty type, and so yeah, you see the spiel and everything like that. It's really cryptic. You don't actually know what's gone on. Or someone posts a picture of them, having been in hospital or something. Like, oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? Message me, hun.
Yeah, I can't talk about it. Message me. Don't put a picture of it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a whole other fucking thing. But not everyone does that.
No.
But when people want to spread gossip or shout about their issues, obviously social media is the fastest way to do it. If we go back to the research on low-dose radiation exposure, especially among women, since Rocky Flats had it was largely female workforce, studies show that while the exposure might not cause massive cognitive dysfunction, it could lead to neurological damage and increased anger issues. So we don't really know how much of Linda's behaviour was influenced by her work environment or if there was potential alcoholism. And
like you say, it could be a combination of both things.
Yeah. After the trial, so a little bit ahead, Linda's siblings did make a statement acknowledging that she was an alcoholic. According to Web Sleuth, they said, "We want everyone to know that Linda made every effort to dedicate her life to raising her only child, Tess. We are sad to say that alcohol also played a significant role in Linda's life. She was a functioning alcoholic for many years. However, in the last few years, Linda found her addiction harder and harder to manage. We supported her recent efforts to get help, but Linda was not able to conquer her addiction. This led to a downward spiral in her ability to properly care for herself and Tess." But there's no corroboration of that at all. Despite them, they also said, obviously, everyone needs to serve their time for it, but we want Tess to know that we love her and we'll support her and things like that. I'm like, bitch, please, I would not. No, I didn't just dribble. I had a bit of walnut. That was fishing out a tooth. Sorry.
Nice. Because we had Americano cake.
Yeah, we did.
Coffee and walnut, for those who don't know.
I think they would.
You don't know?
Well, you don't know. Now he wants ice cream.
Yeah, the ice cream van's going a bit crazy out there and just keeps playing the song.
It's taking advantage. So, but here is something to consider. Linda and her siblings weren't particularly close.
Okay.
So they were scattered across all different areas, and so it's not hard to believe that much of the information that they heard about Linda came directly from Tess. Linda didn't display traditional alcoholic behaviours, and it's highly likely she never shared the details of her exposure to plutonium with her family. So was Linda's situation a mix of addiction, health issues, or something completely more complicated? The pieces just don't seem to fit as easily as some might think.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
These stories aren't generally that straightforward, are they?
No, they never are. And, you know, as you said before, there's 3 sides to the truth. Mm-hmm. There's what was it?
There's, I can't remember how you say it properly, but it's yours, theirs, and the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual truth.
Yeah, because obviously everyone sees things differently as well. So your truth is going to be different from someone else's truth, which is different from the actual truth from the outside. So, yeah.
So as I said, Tess was hooked on sharing her life on MySpace. She frequently posted about how everything was falling apart, calling out her mother as a functioning alcoholic. But on the flip side, Linda was telling neighbours that Tess was the one spiralling out of control. And the neighbours seemed to side with Linda, saying she was doing everything she could to rein Tess in. So was Tess just being rebellious? Was Linda really an alcoholic? Whatever the case, Linda was dealing with health issues. And Tess, at just 14, was already taking drugs, drinking, failing in school and getting involved with boys, and that is a lot for someone so young. I mean, I can't sit here and judge at all because I was 15 and doing a lot of the same things.
Yeah, I was a nightmare. I was arrested when I was 13.
You know, and let me tell you, when a teenager is determined to do something, there's only so much a parent can control.
Yeah, too right.
And, you know, I might have been a bit more secretive about things, but eventually my parents, they usually always found out anyway. And trust me, Dad was not happy. Well, not fucking happy.
We've said before, thank fuck there's no social media around when we were teenagers. Not in the same way there is now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was a wild child.
No parent would have had MySpace.
No, exactly.
No, but every parent has fucking Facebook.
Yeah, that's so true.
And Instagram. Like, more of them are getting Instagram now.
Yeah.
So, what about you? You weren't that much of a hellion, were you? No, he was a good boy. He's a good boy. Little chin scratch. So, yeah, you know, I'm not here to judge. I will a little bit, you know, benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Bitch, do as you're fucking told.
Yeah, that's it.
And then this might not have happened. Mm-hmm. Tess was also a juggalette. Do you know what a juggalette is?
A juggling lady?
No.
A gigolo?
No, that is a male prostitute, by the way.
I know.
No, so she's a loyal follower of the Insane Clown Posse. Or ICP.
Oh, I have heard that before. Yeah.
So that's the female version of it. The male version is Juggalo.
Aye, that's awesome.
So
sorry, Goose just brought up a picture of
fucking
them.
horrific.
Really freaky because we don't like clowns.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Insane Clown Posse is a horrorcore rap duo known for wearing clown makeup. And I'm not a fan of purely because of the makeup.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's fucking freaky. But, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions about ICP and their fan base. So, in 2011, the FBI actually labelled the group's followers as a non-traditional gang in their National Gang Threat Assessment.
Oh my God!
Yeah. But the truth is that the Juggalo community is just made up of people who have often had tough childhoods. They see themselves as outcasts. They come together as like a chosen family where everyone fits in no matter what. Everyone is welcome. It's a safe space for misfits to belong and push back against class hierarchies. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing, you know. You can always count on a fellow juggalo, juggalette, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. According to Business Insider, there's even evidence that many homeless youth identify as juggalos because ICP's music speaks to poverty and being an outsider. So a 2017 study published in the Child Psychiatry and Human Development Journal found that juggalos are often stereotyped as violent, uneducated and involved in crime. It's not the case. Obviously, like any big fan base, there are always going to be a few bad apples.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the community holds each other up for forming strong familial bonds. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what it is. In fact, I've looked at some other sort of, you know, teenage murderers and stuff like that, and there's a couple that have followed the Insane Clown Posse, but just because a few of them did doesn't mean they're all like that.
No,
at all.
Absolutely
so
not.
I think the general message is like, this is a place where you can belong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about anything
Yeah.
else. Like they're frowned upon because, you know, that they've got this scary stage presence with the clown makeup. You know, there's a lot of violent lyrics, things like that. They're waving machetes about, etc. But, you know, that's no different to, say, I don't know, look at the story of fucking Ozzy Osbourne and eating the bat.
Yeah.
What, you know, it's a persona, it's a brand, well, I'm not saying Ozzy eating a bat's a fucking brand at all.
But also, like, and you know, like with Ozzy, when someone chucked the bat on the stage, he thought it was rubber. He didn't realise it was real.
Exactly.
So he went to, like, bite the head off it, thinking
You know,
it was a fucking toy bat.
Yeah. And these people aren't going to be going, like, jumping down off stage and fucking whacking everyone.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's just how they're known.
It's a part of their act and a part of their performance.
Exactly. It is its performance. So yeah, they've got a bad rep.
Yeah. Can I just interject?
Yeah.
We need to think of a term for our listeners that relates to Cars of the Macabre. So if anyone has any ideas, send them on over.
Mud flaps.
No, that is banned. No. For example, Lady Gaga has her monsters.
Yes.
So, you know, that sort of thing to do with.
Aren't they just our spooky bitches?
I mean, yeah. No.
What's flannel flaps?
No, fucking no.
All the words Helen hates.
No. I will ban all of you.
Actually, do you know what? That is something that we could definitely think on.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean,
Send
is that
your
slightly
ideas.
narcissistic of us?
Everybody is slightly narcissistic.
Yeah, that's true.
But as long as you're not a clinical narcissist, you're okay.
Okay.
It's natural to be somewhat narcissistic.
Answers on a postcard, folks.
Yeah, fucking Instagram them, email them, all the things. Thanks
all
very
the
much.
things. Thanks for listening. Moving on. Tess met 16-year-old Brian Grove at the same rec centre where she used to play basketball. Both of them were there for court-mandated community service, and on October 21st, Tess once again took to MySpace to vent about her recent breakup. She wrote that she was tired of finding boys who didn't care about her, who only wanted one thing. She was ready for something real, a boyfriend who would actually see her for who she was. You're 14.
I was going to say, how fucking old is she at this point?
Oh, no, she would have been 15 at that point, actually, because she was
Yeah,
born
but
in July.
still.
I know.
There's a whole life to lead. Don't worry about boys.
Do you know, it's not even just that. It's like, why are you thinking that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are you going to be like when you're, I don't know, teenagers, just a different species.
Yeah, we all thought differently as teenagers. And, you know, I mean, to be fair, when I was a teenager, and I still do think I'm going to be a rock star's wife, so.
Yeah. I don't know what I thought it was going to be. But every relationship was the fucking be-all and end-all. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still on my rock star trajectory.
Being such an emotional person and stuff, and, like, I really feel for people, I would fall quite quickly, or what I thought would be falling quite quickly. And obviously it wasn't. You know, as an adult, I know the difference, but, you know, what is real love.
Yeah.
So, but there we go. Teenagers, hey. Brian, who was clearly paying attention, responded, "I don't know you that well, but I can tell you're a really cool girl and worth more than just your looks and your body. You're worth every moment of a guy's time." Go colour in. Shall I get you some crayons? I mean, I might be being really harsh and unfair, but like I said, the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah.
A little bit about Brian. No, I'm lying. Not there yet. But 10 days later, at Halloween dance at the rec centre, Tess and Brian hooked up and they actually became an official couple. Things moved fast and their relationship was intense. Fights were fiery, but so was their love. They constantly posted love notes to each other on MySpace.
Seriously. Bring back MySpace.
Where everyone could see just how passionate they were.
Ew.
Yeah. I mean, if it was on Facebook, MySpace, it was real.
Yeah.
Same as Facebook.
Yeah.
Clearly. And like everything you read on there, you believe.
Fucking hate Facebook.
Now a little bit about Brian. So Brian grew up in Colorado, but his life started in an orphanage in India before being adopted by an American family. After relocating to Colorado, he supposedly graduated early from Boulder Preparatory High School, which was a local charter school. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fancy. He was in a high school band where he played the euphonium, which is a teeny tiny tuba. Well, a smaller version, yeah. It's kind of like a teeny tiny tuba.
Okay.
Was it you that played the tuba? No, you played the French horn. No, what did you play again?
Trombone?
The tenor horn, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark was a little band geek.
Amazing.
Still is a band geek, but cooler because now it's guitars.
Yeah, if it's connected with music, it's not really
This one time at band camp.
That's awesome.
Yeah, tiny, tiny tuba. So at first glance, Brian seemed like a decent kid. But as we dig a bit deeper, you'll start to see that maybe not so much. Oh, sorry, I thought you... Brian was also a juggalo. So,
Yeah.
male version
Okay.
of an ICP fan. He even tried his hand at writing horrorcore poetry inspired by ICP's style. A former classmate described him as a unique and highly individual personality, someone who was social but found it hard to see things from other people's perspectives. He was the type of kid who rarely changed his mind once he'd made it up. Brian also claimed that he was a product of rape, having been told by his birth mum when he apparently met her roughly a year before he met Tess. These claims haven't been substantiated, but as you'll see, it wouldn't be surprising if he was saying shit just for effect to shock people, you know, that kind of thing. Brian worked at a local fast food joint, but things at home were far from smooth. After a violent altercation with his mother, the police were called and he was kicked out of the house. He ended up moving into a condo with a friend called Bert. I think it was Bert.
Great name.
So this woman who had adopted him, given him a better life, that's his reaction towards her.
He sounds like a bit of a dick.
Yeah, but it turns out he's an ungrateful twat anyway.
Okay.
The year before the murder of Linda... Oh, spoiler alert. Well, you could see it was going that way.
I could not. I didn't know that was what was going to happen.
Oh, shit.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, everyone. The look of disappointment on Mark's face. He guessed that everything Linda was past tense. Oh, yeah, so you had guessed.
Okay.
Oh, right, yeah, I get you. So the year before the murder of Linda, again, spoiler alert, Brian claims to have attempted suicide. He'd downed a load of pills after an argument with his dad. Brian told friends that he had some serious childhood trauma, which he claimed led to the creation of an alter ego he called Darius.
Okay, so I'm wondering if he's got... I did wonder if he had some sort of mental health issues. So it sounds like maybe could be dissociative personality disorder, or he could be using that as an excuse.
Could be. And yes, sorry. What was it on? I just spat everywhere. Pop Stars?
Oh, yes!
X Factor, the guy that sung Colourblind.
Darius. I'm thinking of Daria.
Oh, I loved that show.
That's what I'm thinking.
You can watch that on one of the TV platforms.
Is it?
Yeah. That was so chavvy just then. Is it?
I say that all the time.
Is it?
Yesterday when you said about our eyes being the same colour, I was like, is it?
Oh, yes, you did, yeah. Pop Idol.
Pop Idol.
Yeah. Not that Darius. Not that Darius.
No, not
Sorry.
I don't know her.
Darius was him.
I don't know her.
Darius was dark, angry, but always well dressed. Whether or not those trauma stories were true, it's clear Brian had a lot going on, and honestly, seeing a professional might have helped him process some of it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Which is, you know, when you're saying about dissociative personality disorder or an excuse or blah. But when Brian was in Darius mode, he expected his friends to address him accordingly. At first, they got confused, but they soon kind of like figured it out. So if he showed up looking preppy, they knew he was Darius, the cold, cruel side of him. And if he was dressed more casually, he was just Brian.
That sounds like the storyline to like a really cool series.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of sitch.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
more so than you realise towards the end.
Oh, it's quite fascinating, actually.
So no one really knew what kind of trauma triggered this split personality, but it seems kind of like a thing.
Yeah, definitely seems something.
Brian had 2 friends named Jared. Jared Guy was his best friend. They had a lot in common, especially since both of them were adopted under similar circumstances and then brought to Colorado. The other Jared was Jared Smith. He was kind of, I would say, more of an acquaintance. He was a loud football player with some satanic references on his MySpace page. Didn't we all, babe?
Yeah, literally. I mean, if you didn't have some sort of, like, satanic reference, were you even on MySpace?
Mark's like, no.
That's fine, we're weird. We grew up weird, we're still weird.
So he wasn't exactly part of, well, I mean, he was part of the friend group, but he wasn't Brian's favourite person. And he kind of hung around enough to be included. He was kind of like
an occasional
fly on shit, basically.
Oh, okay.
So there were a few things Brian was known for among his friends. He loved video games and he had a seriously hot temper, though he usually didn't act on it. But as a juggalo, he believed he could go into kill mode when he got mad. So he'd storm home, grab a butcher knife, ready to solve his problem, but then sort of cooled off before he did anything about it. His roommate Bert said that this happened just a month before the murder. But what Brian seemed to enjoy the most, though, was spending time with Tess. Jared was always around too. This is shit on fly Jared. And sometimes the group would just tell him to leave. Tess would stay over at Brian's condo quite often all night. And, you know, on even like 2 separate occasions in 2006, Linda reported Tess as a runaway to the police. So you can see Linda is trying to be a responsible parent. You know, despite whatever issues she had herself, Tess, it seemed, was just being a brat.
Yeah. I mean, I just cannot even fathom how hard it must be to try and parent a teenager. I really can't.
Again, this is why I can't really judge.
Oh, no.
You know, I'd stay out all night getting drunk on a field.
Yeah, me too.
Get up to all sorts.
Yeah.
Especially like when I started hanging out in Cambridge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You end up at house parties. And putting yourself in all kinds of sort of dangerous situations, maybe.
Brighton.
On the 29th of May, police were called to a domestic dispute, and on the 4th of July, Tess violated her curfew. On the 15th of July, Tess was issued a ticket for underage drinking and reported as a runaway. So this is all before she had met Brian.
Okay.
So as yet, he wasn't an influence.
Okay.
So twice, police reports described Tess as being out of control and her mother as inebriated at the time of the visit. But their concerns never rose to the level of their filing a complaint with CPS, so the Child Protective Services.
Right, okay.
So how drunk was Linda? We don't know. We're not even sure that she was drunk. It's just not as clear as people are trying to make it out. After that, July, things went pretty quiet and then Tess was sent to her aunt's in California. It was after she returned from Cali, just after that 1 month, that she then met Brian. She still had the problems, but this time they were different. Obviously, Brian's now involved. So from October, Linda kept threatening to report Tess as a runaway. She would just then scarper to Brian's and spend nights there. But Brian was now telling Tess he needed a place to live. Like, he couldn't stay at the condo anymore. I'm not sure why. Linda fucking agreed to let Brian move in with her and Tess.
Why?
I mean, I kind of understand,
I suppose
Linda's reasoning.
She might be thinking, at least Tess will be under her roof, so she'll
be home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so maybe by letting Brian move in, she could keep a closer eye on Tess.
Yeah.
Perhaps Tess, would feel like she got what she wanted, so her and Linda's relationship might start to improve, they could rebuild, that sort of thing. There's so many reasons why a mother might allow her child's partner to move in. My parents allowed it. So, perhaps never, like, official. Once, obviously, was the guy who I headbutted when Dad was ill. Dad was there. And then after that, there's two other occasions. So even though sort of it wasn't like official, they were there all the time. They lived there. You know, Richard even brought a homeless guy back once.
Yeah, that's
and he stayed for us
story.
for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
Turns out he was lovely.
Yeah.
But, you know, Dad was alive then, so, you know, anything bad, Dad would have kicked the living shite out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but like any mum, Linda obviously had expectations. She assumed the teens would help around the house, do their share of chores, follow her rules. You know, she was giving them a huge gift, essentially, by letting Brian live there.
Yeah.
But instead of gratitude, they rebelled. They didn't want to help out. They just wanted to hang out, play video games, listen to ICP, obsess over MySpace, and smoke pot.
Okay.
Brian, in particular, became resentful pretty quickly, forgetting that Linda was doing him a huge fucking favour just by letting him stay. You know, she's trying to rebuild a relationship with her daughter, trying to keep her under some sort of control, whilst trying to not let, so Tess wouldn't hate her, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so that they could have a relationship, they could go back to how they were, and, you know, this dude's just shitting all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's given you a place to live with your girlfriend. All she's asking for is a bit of help around the house. You ungrateful fucking cockwomble.
Yeah, he does sound like he's got fucking issues.
He's just a dick.
And he's a dick.
It's like he really hated the idea of being that guy, the one that sort of lived with his girlfriend and her mum. So he grew really disrespectful of Linda, and, you know, the tension just worsened. Mm-hmm. Tess, in her infinite wisdom, decided they'd be better off moving out and living together on their own. But here's the problem. Brian worked at Cinnabon. Don't get me wrong, fucking loved Cinnabon.
But if he's the only one working, that's not a wage enough to rent for 2 people.
Tess wasn't working at all, so they're not rolling in cash.
No.
So they weren't thinking long term, clearly. And all of their bravado, they were incredibly naive. They're living on a wing and a prayer. I'm almost 35 and I'm still doing that.
Oh, fuck me too, yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So they've got fucking no idea. Tess has got these grandiose ideas, owning a home, living the good life. They went house hunting and found their dream home. Yeah, I know. Which was going for about $490,000, and that was in 2007, so that would have been a fucking expensive house.
That's hilarious.
I mean, like nowadays, I don't know what that is. Mark's going to look it up, but that would have been fucking ridiculous. So they became obsessed with it, so much so they were willing to go to any lengths to make it happen. So $490,000 in 2007 is worth $743,335 today.
Fucking hell.
What fucking teenager in their right mind thinks that, yeah, do you know what? We can get that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll just
on your Cinnabon wage, me not working, I'm going to be a good little housewifey.
Jeez.
Desperation set in, and Tess, incredibly aware that she would inherit her mother's house if Linda were to die, hatched a chilling plan. She convinced Brian that if they killed Linda, they could sell her house and use the money to put a deposit on the dream home. Even worse, she managed to rope in Brian's friends to help. On February the 3rd, 2007, Tess, Brian and Jared Smith were casually hanging out at IHOP. What is an IHOP?
International House of Pancakes.
That's a thing? Do they do vegan pancakes?
I don't know. It's American.
Do you know how much crepes are my favourite food?
Yeah, but they don't do crepes.
No, but I don't care. It's still the same fucking mix.
Yeah.
It's just fatter.
I went to one in Florida and it was really dirty.
Oh.
It's like fast food, but pancakes.
I love pancakes. Did you ever go to they had a few of them around Cambridge, the little trailers that would sell them, and you could get savoury or sweet as well.
Yes.
And they were crepes.
But yeah, they're not vegan generally, are they?
No, egg, milk.
Damn it.
I mean, I can make vegan ones.
Yeah. I mean,
It
I'm
can
not
be
saying
done.
IHOP's dirty, but
Just the one that you went in
I
was-
went into
yeah.
was gross.
It'd be cool just to go in one and be like, oh, I've been in an IHOP.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot about them, but I've never been in one, but...
Have you ever been in a Hooters?
Yes, but not in America.
The one in Nottingham doesn't count.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Really sorry.
Fair enough. That's the only
Really
one I've been
sorry.
in.
It's like,
They used to have one in Bristol. But can you imagine the Bristolian accent when you got these pair of tits in your face, these tiny little hot pants, someone just goes, all right, me lover, what can I get you?
I see that. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
I'd be like,
This doesn't compute.
no. I mean, don't get me wrong, I quite like the Bristolian accent. It's just, it's not what you just,
Yeah.
you don't equate it with.
I've been to the original Hooters.
Where's that?
It is in Clearwater in Florida. So I've been to the original one. And
How was it?
oh, it's fucking cool. I love
Yeah?
Hooters.
Your dad's been in a Hooters.
Yeah, he'd never heard of it, and this was the first time I went on holiday to America, and him and my stepmom kindly took me with them on like the holiday with Milena, and it was I'd never been to a Hooters, and I used to be so obsessed. Well, I still love America, but I used to be really obsessed with it, and. Yeah, I was.
did?
Yeah, and I said, Dad, can we go to Hooters? He was like, what's Hooters? I was like, just you fucking wait and see. Didn't put the fucking in there, obviously. I don't swear to my dad. I said, just you wait and see. And yeah, we've got like photo of him with all the
eyes are on
Hooters girls.
stalks.
But Milena, bless her little heart, she was so little. She was, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5.
Aww.
She wanted a Hooters t-shirt, and we were like, really not appropriate. So in the end, she settled for, she got a little pin badge of a Hooters girl with like a cheerleader.
Oh, with pom-pom.
Yeah, and my dad bought this awesome like lunchbox, like metal lunchbox.
So you could take it to work.
Yeah,
especially as a builder as well.
But he just has it on display in his office. It's got like matching flasks. It's so cool.
I really like that. I ended up with a Hooters t-shirt. I want to say Richard had one, and then Mum ended up with it.
Oh, really?
And she would do cleaning in it.
Love that. I need to get another one because you had Hooters boxers.
Did you really? Oh, I'm going to find you another pair. You had a tank top, didn't you?
Yeah, I want some Hooters boxers to sleep in. Remind me to try and find some.
Yeah.
Yes, I need to get. I've had a couple of Hooters t-shirts, but don't know where they are. I need to get a new one.
Maybe we'll go to the one in Nottingham.
I don't know. I'm not. I know.
Just for the merch.
Yeah, true.
Just for the merch. You'd have to eat there. To be honest, we probably couldn't eat there.
Now there's like literally nothing we could. Well, there's nothing I could have.
No.
Surely they must do vegan stuff, but I doubt they do anything gluten free because everything's covered in breadcrumbs and.
Well, yeah, that's true. You're so fucking difficult.
No.
But yeah, so I think February 3rd, 2007, Tess, Brian, Jared Smith were hanging out at the IHOP, and the topic of conversation was, your typical teenage stuff, like plotting a murder.
Fucking hell.
Specifically, how to kill Linda and make it look convincing. Brian suggested using a butcher knife, but Tess quickly shot that down, as it would, in her words, be too messy. They then kind of tossed around the idea of staging an overdose by spiking Linda's alcohol with meds. Jared didn't seem to be too like an active participant in the conversation, but he kind of stuck around just listening, hanging out, chiming in with the planning.
Is this the fly on shit guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in fact, this wasn't actually the first time the trio had discussed the plan. They'd been at it for weeks.
Fucking weird.
They'd even mentioned it to a few friends, but no one really believed they'd actually go through with it. Angsty teens, plenty of talk, surely no action, right? They can't walk the walk, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to just after midnight on February the 4th, and the trio decided to head home. But by 2:30 a.m, they still hadn't arrived. Linda was calling Tess, wondering on earth where they were. But at that moment, the teens were driving, using Linda's car, might I add.
Fuck's sake.
So, she's letting them live there, use the car.
They're taking the piss.
Absolutely. Tess had stopped answering her mother's calls, though, and Linda's frustration was building. I mean, dude, you're still in fucking nappies. Just do as your mother says. Be home by 2:30.
That's a very reasonable curfew time.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, my curfew wasn't that, but then I'd be staying at a friend's house.
That's exactly what I used to do.
Yeah. But obviously Linda knew where Tess would be. She'd be with Brian.
Yeah.
At Brian's condo, which he didn't have then. They were both staying there, so where else would they be?
Yeah, true.
But this is at the beginning of February. Tess and Brian had only been together since the end of October 2006, so that's 3 months they've been together. Just 3 fucking months, and that's their kind of level. You know, so very Romeo and fucking Juliet.
What's a carry on?
Yes. I mean, in teenage years, that is practically 25 years, is it not?
Yeah, that's the thing. You do have to look at teenage years differently.
It's like dog years.
Yeah.
Compared to human years. Teenage years are so... I know that's how I felt in relationships.
Yeah.
It's probably why people thought it was fucking weird. Because I fell hard. Everything, you know... Even as like... I think when I was a kiddie, I had like a little schoolboy boyfriend, you know, and we had a breakup, and I was very upset about it, and I cried, and my year 4 teacher was like, oh, all of you acting like 16-year-olds. And then I'm thinking, well... Now at nearly 35, I'm thinking you're acting like fucking 16-year-olds. It's really fucking young, you know. But it's like add 10 years to each month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But Tess did eventually answer her phone to Linda, and they got into a slanging match. Things escalated. Linda told Tess that Brian had to move out. You know, she clearly reached her breaking point, and, you know, honestly, who could blame her?
Yeah, right.
Tess was pushing every boundary imaginable, but after that confrontation, Tess hung up, and at that moment, Linda's fate was sealed.
Shit, the bed.
And that's where I'm going to leave you.
Ooh,
until next time.
Cliffhanger. Wow.
So I think after this one, there's going to be another spooky chat, potentially.
Goobs doesn't
And then the second part of this one, or we might just go straight into the second part of this one, because there is a shit ton to get through.
Yeah, no, he's us two are responsible for contents though.
Yeah, so we'll discuss it, whether you guys want a break in between this one and the next part and do a speaker chat. We'll decide, but that's where I'm going to leave you at the moment.
Cool.
We obviously know Linda's going to die.
Yeah.
But how, when, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I'll leave that for next time.
Amazing. Very good so far.
What do you think?
Yeah, really good. And I haven't heard of this one.
No?
No, I've heard of similar things, but not this one. I'm trying to think. Sorry, Goobs is typing out get in the bin, so I'm trying to think of a get in the bin for this week.
Yes.
What's yours?
I don't know if I've got one. In fact, I'm pretty on board with Gilbert's get in the bin, which is people who say make Britain great again.
Yeah,
it's very fucking true.
I'll piggyback on that as well.
We have grown as a country from everything foreign. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're built on many cultures.
Yes, we are.
And traditions, and it all comes from different places to make it a wonderful mixture.
No, it fucking does.
Yeah.
So get in the bin, you people.
Get in the fucking bin.
Yeah.
Have you got a random fact?
You haven't had a get in the bin yet, have you?
I've just said I'm piggybacking on that.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah. Yeah, my random fact is another injury-based one. When I was really little, I was told not to sit on a chair. Oh, God, how old was I? Oh, it was Exeter Road, so I must have been maybe about 5-ish, 4 or 5. You look horrified by that.
I just saw Goob's random fact. That's unbelievable.
I was told not to sit on this chair. It was dangerous. I rocked back on it and a nail went through my back and I've got a little scar there now.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
That could have ended. So like the Kirby grip, if that had been like not that much lower, that could have gone through, and like the nail, that could have caused some damage to my spine or something around that area anyway. And I've been quite lucky to evade worse circumstances. Or consequences even.
That is really fucking scary.
Yeah.
But where was this? At school?
No, at home.
At home?
Yeah, I remember crying.
I'm not fucking surprised.
Yeah.
So Goob's random fact is he didn't drink tea until he was at university.
Sorry, there's a pun there at university.
University? What the fuck? How did you get out of drinking tea?
I didn't know that. I knew you didn't like eggs.
See, my
coffee tea.
Hot drinks in general.
Hot chocolate. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I do have a couple of friends who don't like hot drinks, which I think is bizarre.
Yeah, I've met a few people like that.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
That's...
yeah.
Really?
Amazing.
Mate. I bet he would like heat up Ribena. Hot blackcurrant. He didn't like fizzy drinks.
Blackcurrant flavoured things.
He didn't like fizzy drinks either.
No, I was a bit like that as a child as well. I didn't like fizzy drinks.
I drank just squash. You get bubbles in your ears. Huh? Are you sure they weren't just blocked? So you needed them cleaning?
Really weird. I love it.
He's got clean ears. Thank you very much.
All right then. So I'm going to do my random fact actually connected to that. So my dad taught me how to make tea when I was very, very young. We were living in Crofters, so I must have been about 7. And he taught me how to make tea. He also taught me how to tie my shoelaces. My dad taught me everything. He's the fucking best.
I used to just drink tea, like constantly, but then since now having oat milk in hot drinks, I don't like it in tea all that much. I tend to drink peppermint tea now, but the rest of the time it's coffee.
Oatly barista oat milk is good in tea.
I think it gives it a funny flavour.
You're a funny flavour.
I am. So are you. You took the words right out of Mark's mouth.
I really did.
Yeah. Shoelaces, I tie them in a really fucking weird way. I didn't learn to tie my shoelaces till I was 10. I should say that for a random fact.
Yeah, you should have.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm going to say that next time.
It's because you're from Newmarket.
I'll give you that.
Touche.
Right, well, I hope everyone enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark, Park Lane Studios, for the sound and the vision, not the content. He is not responsible for that shit. That is all on us.
Yes.
And if you would like to... What did we request earlier that they send us?
Oh, names for our followers.
Oh yeah, let's have some ideas for names for our followers. So along the lines of Lady Gaga's Monsters.
Not mud flaps.
I fucking refuse that. So don't even try it because it's not going to be that.
I don't want to walk around with a t-shirt saying like a mud flap on there.
Thank you. So
I will say that for the podcast.
Yeah, you can email that, and if you've got any spooky stories at carsofthemacabre@gmail.com.
Also suggestions for cases. There's been a couple that I'm going to look into.
Yeah, to be fair, we're not short of them. There are many, many, many.
Yes, there are. But if there's anything that you specifically want to hear sooner rather than later, let us know. Also, if you do send in any spooky stories, true crime stories, let us know if we can use your name or not.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Big thing.
And if you know where I can find a haunted and or true crime related car. I don't have any money, but in the future I would like to maybe collect some spooky cars. And you can follow us on Instagram at Cars of the... No.
Yeah.
At Cars of the Macabre.
Yeah. TikTok at Cars of the Macabre.
Yep.
YouTube.
All the podcasting platforms. Make sure you listen, subscribe, like, download, share, comment, rate, all the things.
All of the things. Yeah.
So, thank you for listening if you have been. And until next time,
stay spooky, bitches.